Well, hello, friends. This is E. Giuliano, and it is 14th of February, 2022. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you celebrating the love. And that means we get to celebrate the love of the charts, the price charts, the crypto price charts, the altcoins, the Bitcoins, the technical analysis. All right, let's get into it, sharing the screen. And we're going to go backwards today in terms of the order we've been going, finishing with Atom. Well, today we will start with Atom BTC. Let's get right into it. I'd like to bring you to the Atom Bitcoin chart. Wow, well, we have come below this line here of resistance previous. So we are now within this channel, playing within this channel, close to this Ichimoku cloud formation, likely to break through, but this can take time. There is some potential support, but looks like this green zone of chop is incoming. Yeah, just fighting at that 20-week moving average there on the Atom price chart. Still just going in towards the negative histogram on the weekly. So looking to at least get down to this level. And when you do, like I said, you have Ichimoku cloud here. So you're now crossed below it. And then, you're just probably more likely for a bit of bearish chop, maybe down towards here and then back up and then out. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. It just sense that that's where we're going. So let's watch it out, at least towards this trend line, because then it gets a bounce there and it goes higher. So one way or the other, you can be keen on this kind of support resistance line, which we basically have played out in this top of this box. And we see it here in previous times, okay? So wait for it. Patience is still on your side when it comes to Atom BTC. I think what we're coming towards is the BTC price chart, really, ultimately. But it's nice to look at these altcoins. So Luna is next. Luna on the weekly also has, in the previous weeks, broken down below and then stopped around the 20-week moving average for a bit of a pause. And I think if we go with a nice one-to-one of some sorts, we're coming down here. So yeah, there you go. There's good likelihood of that, better likelihood of that than some other things. There's also a good likelihood of just bouncing right here first. So this level here would be 0009. And this level here, 0006. So 7, 007, But we've got, again, this negative histogram building here after we had a lot of positive energy and momentum. So give it some time and we reach this area here in June. You're really looking for the bouncing of this zone here. Otherwise, Luna is going to be showing us, in the chart that it's going to be suffering something against BTC in this time frame. Maybe all the alts will, who knows? Look forward to people calling this head and shoulder soon, something like that. Maybe. Okay, that's your Luna chart. Yeah, when you come from top here, you do expect at least something. It doesn't have to go oversold, but well, we're at these type of levels here. Cool, Luna for you. MATIC BTC jumping into the weekly charts once again. What are we working with here? A lot of red weekly candles, but it's a slowing of momentum, even a push up to cover some of this room here. So, as it made its way down towards this 20-week average, slowing of momentum, it might chop around here a little bit. And then we're looking for a further move down towards this Ichimoku cloud level, towards this support, or sorry, previous resistance level, looking to turn it support for the first time, considering that it pushed up and hasn't come back down until now. So here we are looking for this level to be support. My better guess is that it's going to come down towards this level here. Again, we're into that April, May, June timeframe. So that seems to be what's looking like it's playing out, but you never know. It might turn around before then. It might be a smaller, negative histogram action. The RSI might not make it all the way down towards here. it might stay above the 40 levels or even the 30 level. 40 level seems to be a strong level here. The previous base was really around the 45 level, let's call it, and then there's this one deviation here back in this 2020 October, yeah, starting in August down to December of 2020. Alrighty, there you go. That is your MATIC look. Moving on to the Avalanche AVAX against BTC. Yep, holding this line here of horizontal support. It's working well, definitely working well. It had another also, just like previous charts, it had a push up into this zone here again, this midline, just to clear out whatever liquidity is there, I guess, because now we're back down here. But it's a slow, contra trend move against this downtrend. And so the next move after the contra trend move will be the next part of the downtrend. And so yeah, we're coming down to these regions. And there's not really, maybe it'll chop around here first, but then coming down to here. So there you go. That's what's happening. It looks like, and working through this negative momentum still. How far will it go down? It's hard to say, but yeah, these areas seem to be good here. 100,000, 90,000, that kind of thing. All right. If 150 it's too difficult to drop a good strong support like this. It would only be a deviation then. Otherwise, if it drops here and hangs around here, it's less likely to go higher first. I would say it should come down to this level here. And you got this downtrending line, so we just get the sense that we'll be coming towards this zone here soon, and then clearing that towards here. Just that's what things are happening, looking like. But we'll see when we get to that point. We will know. It's in the coming months. We'll see. Again, this is a Bitcoin price chart against AVAX, right? So we don't know what the USD will be doing. That'll really, a lot of it will depend on the BTC price. So let us move on. Solana. With the Solana price chart on the weekly, it broke down that horizontal level. We're in some heavy negative momentum currently, so it could, well, it's just the fact is it broke below this level here. Now the only way is really down. I mean, yeah, there's possibility to go up, but you're going down through this Ichimoku cloud leg into this zone of price chop, really is the sense that I'm getting. It's gotta be, I mean, how can it be below here again, unless it's a deviation below, and then it kind of continues in this box area, and it can go and stay above the cloud and stay bullish like that. Okay, Solana. Top shelf. Here we go. Next. Again, these are against BTC. So they've made some big moves, and now this price action here. So what is interesting, although it's difficult to say what this is in terms of a wave analysis, is it a corrective move or is it part of some sort of impulsive move? And if it's either way, now we have this price action that's starting to trade within this price action. It's just getting there at the top levels. It's we already had a big up and down move here, but meaning that now we're really into this next level of down and up. So, and because once you break this 20-week moving average, your next stop is at least down to this trend line here, which would be this kind of halfway point here, where you had a little bit of choppiness and indecision here. Indecision on this candle here with the big up and down wicks, and then the small body, and then you had also this indecision here, which is just also basically like taking liquidities from these moves up here, but really small body here and just kind of hanging out there before continuing whatever trend was already in place. So you have this level here where you get to, you break down below this 20-week average. Your next stop is around the trend line, uptrending line. which relates to this, this horizontal price level here. Like that, you know, that kind of thing, where you got this stuff here, a little bit of resistance from here previously. So it's kind of around that zone. Anyway, yeah, that seems to be the case for a lot of these. This one is FTM, and yeah, we're just breaking into this level of, well, previous resistance turning support, but you know, 20-week moving average. Let's see. Now, I don't want to sound too confident that everything has to just break down right away. There can be prolonged moves in the contra direction that might take a week or 2 or 3 or a month. In fact, if that is the case, you know, maybe the B wave should be taking longer than this A wave. So if this is considered an A wave, a 1, 2, 3, 4 week wave, then the B wave should maybe be 4 weeks. So we might have some choppiness around here for 4 weeks before we start getting to these lower levels and breaking down towards this cloud. This one's an interesting one. Maybe the cloud will save it here and it'll be able to follow it, but this is a precarious cloud because it has no meat under it here. You see this is just a very narrow cloud. So we'll see. That'll be interesting to watch. We're just getting the start of some more negative histogram. Okay, so we're going to move on from FTM. Yeah, that's it. Let's watch it happen. We'll watch it play out week by week. The good thing about week by week is you know, it takes time. So that's pretty good. It gives us time. You don't have to rush it. Wow, there you go. Dot, yeah, Dot really broke out of this ascending triangulation. Okay, so where are we here? We could definitely be targeting this lower zone here at this point. We are at this kind of support resistance where you had a previous deviation. It's not quite resistance. Well, I mean, here it was, but really it's more been a supportive type of level with this deviation. So watch for this region to be breached, but what we really want to see it hold to stay above it. Otherwise, it might get breached, be retested, and then break down. And then you're coming down towards these levels here. 25,000, 30,000. At least look for a 35. No. Yeah, well, you have these wicks here. So yeah, 35,000. Interest, but this one has had a lot more negative momentum. RSI, no, not saying anything. This thing could go for a while. This could go for a year or two if you really wanted it to, in some sort of meandering sideways action if it had to, or you know, coming down to these levels. And yeah, who knows what this is going to end up looking like. There will be an interesting formation that occurs along the way by the time we get to 2023 and especially 2024. I'm gonna really enjoy seeing that play out. Hopefully we'll be around all the way. That'll be very interesting. And so if you're enjoying this, great, hit the like button, make some comments, whatever. Okay, that's the Polkadot against BTC price chart, running right through these. Link BTC. Yeah, Link BTC did the breakdown. Oh, this is not your friend here. You're breaking down this 200-week moving average. You already tested it, bounced hard, got rejected by a previous downtrending resistance. 20-week moving average is not helping you. You're below that. Bollinger Bands breaking down. Breaking down below 200-week average. You got to hope that you're getting some sort of deviation, and then you'll get back above it and find some sort of sideways support above this already carved out level around the 37,000 Satoshis. So there you are. Otherwise, this breakdown really, I mean, yeah, we're targeting these kinds of levels at that point, you know, 17,000 levels, 16,000 levels. I mean, if you're, yeah, because at that point, if you're breaking down below here, that would just be a deviation if you're only going to make it down here to this level, like the 33, 32, 31, even the 30 level. Otherwise, at that point, if you're below the 200 long enough, it's just going to keep breaking down. And then at that point, yeah, you're going down. You're going down at least to 25, but at that point, why not just make it all the way down, back down to the beginning of this move? And if not, I mean, you could, who knows where this one will stop. It'll stop somewhere eventually. I don't know if it's going to make a lower low than the lowest of the lows. It's been going on for some time. We'll see. It'll be interesting to watch. You know, yeah, there's some reason I'm drawn to this area here, this zone, like this kind of thing here. Who knows what it'll be, but actually, let's go in there. Something like that, maybe. Feels good. That feels strong. Either a higher low than this, you know, accumulation. But this is a BTC price chart. Anything is possible, and they could come and chop around here for a while before moving higher. That's also possible. We'll see. I'm not trying to sound bearish, but it's interesting to watch charts against the BTC. A chain link moving into further negative histogram. Yeah, I'm not, you know what, and I'm not trying to think, I don't think it's going to come all the way down here. But I think this level here seems like the most reasonable at this time, around that 16,000 level. Cool, that's chain link. Alrighty, against BTC. Okay, BNB against BTC. Ooh, BNB against BTC. It's had such a long life, such a strong, long life. Look at this crane style, camel style. This is camel style chart. So what are we looking at here? 200-week moving average is way below. We've got some cloud support also below the Ichimoku. So that's stronger than some of the other charts where they were moving more down towards this type of a formation of the cloud. Now we have here for BNB. Just below the 20-week moving average, though, is what's happening. Just below the 20-week moving average is what's happening now. Breaking below it, coming to this midway line of this zone of chop here. So we'll see if you get some support. You're also coming to this uptrending uptrending support line here. So this is potential to bounce back up towards this 20-week average. Maybe you have 1, 2, 3 weeks involved here, maybe more. And then it looks like you'll bounce down towards this lower end of this rectangular zone into this cloud area. From there, though, that could be your bounce zone. Otherwise, yeah, you're targeting down here at what is like 400, 500,000. Now that's BNB. Yeah, let's move on. From BNB, we make our way to some LTC. And with LTC, it's the same. It did make that pump towards the 20-weekly moving average. But it didn't even finish green, finished red, the candle, and a pretty good turnaround candle, basically saying, no, sorry, rejected. And yeah, so yeah, nothing much else to say. 200-week moving average down sloping below. Okay. It'll be, I think, a couple of years more. I mean, look at this, the space here into 2026. We're going to see what's happening within this year. Like, is the prices just going to keep dumping further, or at some point are they going to turn around and start challenging the above resistances of these levels here? Like, for example, in this chart, and we'll see in a couple of other charts as well, like ICX, KMD, and others. Okay. Not too many others, though. We definitely have gone through the, okay, that's it for LTC. But look, yeah, it's like just narrowing. So we're looking for a pop in one direction or the other. Okay. With DERO, we had a pop, that's for sure. DERO popped right up, and it's still up. Interestingly, it is just following this channel nicely, following right to the 20-week moving average. Gotta love it. And likely, you know, with 1, 2, 3 green candles, and you know, the beginnings of the sense of weakness up in this level, it looks like, and now this is the, this is the third week, so it might not even end green as we saw with LTC, but rejection here is most likely. Just sorry to say, DERO, don't take that the wrong way. I still love you, and you can always be my Valentine, but it looks like you are going to follow the path of least resistance, which is down at this point. However, to say that, it's unfortunate, but that's just what I'm seeing. And yeah, you have this kind of choppy area, resistance, support, resistance, and now will it be resistance again? Let's watch and find out. I mean, I'm not necessarily right about it. Look, you're finishing a lot of negative momentum here, but having said that, you're just getting into this turnaround territory. So price oftentimes doesn't just follow the magnitude of this indicator. Oftentimes, like we've seen in previous videos, and we can see it, for example, with Pirate Chain or whatever, as the oscillator, in this case, as the MACD, as the momentum indicator, starts to dampen, the price itself could be dumping harder, maybe not as fast, but it can just keep going down. The momentum might slow, but the price could go much further comparatively. And so that's the sense I'm getting. But we got some good support reasons over here, which is previous resistance. So there's a bullish case for support. The price to come back, test here. It didn't never really come test here anyway. Well, it did right here. These, interestingly, price came and retested these previous highs and nicely bounced off it. I mean, that's a nice price action. This shows that DERO has some spunk, I must say. I'm so happy to have been watching this DERO chart all along. It has provided a lot of good lessons, and I just like the character. All of these charts have a different character. They take a different shape. They have a different life. They are composed of the price action that's delivered by the market participants, right? And DERO has a great price chart. I love it. I really do. It's fun. It's got a lot of spunk, I must say. So good on you, DERO. And whomever made that first recommendation for the DERO price chart, I hope you're watching. I hope it's serving you well. And if anybody has any other recommendations, go for it. All right. So that's it for the DERO price chart for now. Let's move on. We move on to Origin Trail TRAC BTC. Yeah, we are just following the wedging, channeling towards this previous zone that we had marked out. There you go. I think there's not much else to say. We have the 200th little blip here, that little orange blip. That is the beginnings, I believe, of the 200 weekly moving average. Let's try and get that in there. We might not even be able to catch that. Yeah, because we can catch that. So it's just too small at this current. Yeah, we're not there yet. Anyway, so it's there around the 900 level, which is this previous resistance and support level. So don't be surprised if it actually breaks through, because this is just the cloud. If it doesn't get support at the cloud, which most likely, you have this up leg here, it's not going to be going up above here. So look for the 200 weekly moving average to hold support. That'll be the important aspect of things. And then in future, you're looking for an even bigger leg up to make higher highs of higher highs. I mean, the trend so far is nice. It's upward. Let's see how it works. Let's recompose a trend line here and see how that helps. I would guess it does confluence nicely with that 200 weekly moving average. So we'll see. We'll see how well this holds. All right, interesting for you, Origin Trail. Yeah, the negative momentum is just really just beginning here again. Well, not just beginning, I should say it's in full effect. Okay, the but you know, you haven't done any of this yet. So it is just beginning. You're just in this kind of stage of it, it looks like, right? So in one sense, it is just beginning. But the price action, yeah, that's been going on for a few months now, back to November. Okay, there's Origin Trail price chart, TRAC BTC. Moving on to ICX, it's another one of the price charts that's down below, and you wonder, is it going to follow this action here, this rectangle of price action? We have Ichimoku Cloud started to encroach again a little further down, but the price is moving away from it already. So let's get into it. We are at the lower end of this box, so maybe it's a good zone to be getting in. Having said that, though, you're kind of on a breaky down area. Nothing is necessarily looking strong. So really what you're really wondering is the 1500 level going to hold here? Is this 1500 level going to hold, or are you going to test the bottom of this box, which is outlined really by that wick of this candle here from the week of 28th of December, the last week of December of 2020 is this candle right here. And that's ICX against BTC. So yeah, there you go. Looks like it'll come back down towards these levels, and we will see what happens from there. In terms of the momentum, right? These are the ones where this looks like it could turn into some positive momentum, and you really hope it does, because it came from so low down and it goes up and then it's going to come back down. That's rough, but it's possible. This is the BTC price chart. The BTC price chart can destroy your mental models, so to speak, and it can also make it very difficult just to understand what is even happening in the price action. But anyway, you know, there's a good chance there's some sort of triangulation forming, so we'll see. It could even be a triangle that finishes further down, like as at a lower low. Like that's just. But in this one, got the sense that too, it could just be more flat than triangular. So that's also a sense of like finding some support here and not making lower lows. Whereas, for example, in Komodo price chart, it might be a bit more on that triangulation side. Same thing with Litecoin, you know. We'll see. This is really going to depend on whether that 1500 holds, and then especially at the lower end there around the like the 1300 level. Okay, ICX, that's it for you. We'll see where you go along with the others. But really, we start to wonder, like, what's Bitcoin going to be doing, because that's a big part of the equation. But before we get there, we have THETA still channeling downward. Let's see. So it had some nice bounce. It even, again, last week, weekly candle, the week of 7th February, you know, touched the 20-week moving average, again, rejected, top of the range here of downtrending channeling, rejected again. So how much more does it have? It's anybody's guess at this point in terms of going up, but more down is likely enough. It's likely enough, but we shall see. Yeah, you know, in my sense, I think we get to this lower box end, and if anything, there's at that point, it's anybody's call whether it comes. And that lower box end is around what, 5,000 satoshis, and the lower end is around like 3,500. But by then, you might as well, yeah, 3,500 sounds reasonable in terms of the next support level. So there you go. That is, yeah, like even the 3,000-ish level, that whole zone. But again, you have this momentum that went big up, big down, and now it's trying to get back into some positive momentum. So on a price chart like this could in fact be an opportunity where it did find its support already. importantly against this previous strong resistance. And it is going to take some time now, and it will take its time to gain a bit of positive momentum. And maybe it's just going to go up, down, up like that, and it'll come back down. That'll be great. I don't know how, like this is a bigger chart though, so I don't know, maybe it's going to look something like that by this time. And then, but then if this can be that zone of support, wow, it didn't even go to the bottom of the box. Maybe it stays at the top of the box. That is very nice, Theta. That would be super duper bullish, I would think. That would be amazing for the Theta price. Then you're going towards this Ichimoku cloud, and you can see what kind of thing you can do there. Maybe you only get a bounce, and then who knows what happens after that. Maybe it does even come lower. But that's the whole thing about like the action and the patience, and you know, what are you doing as well? Are you accumulating for long term? Then you're in good levels, it seems, but at the same time, nothing is too certain. You are already rejected by a 20-week moving average. So really, yeah, again, what's going on here in terms of just watching price charts, it's at an interesting level. Yeah, and in terms of getting some of the Theta, yeah, this, I mean, none of this is financial advice, right? You're at a previous support, it could be turning resistance. You already had rejection here at the 20-week. Nothing's glaringly obvious yet. So there you go. And even if it, again, even if it does run up and bump up and then come back down, I mean, okay. So again, that's a patience thing. It's like, what do you want? This is, remember, this is a ETHBTC price chart. Again, just like everything else that we've been showing. So cool. Let's see what happens with the Theta price chart. And moving on, we have ADA Cardano down below the 2,500 Satoshis into that box. Finally, how long we even reject, you know, we supported off that and found a nice bounce up, but never even closed above the 20-week moving average. Now we're in that box. Finally, it's a breakdown. They call it a breakdown. You know, it broke below this cloud finally. I don't know how long it's going to take to get back up to these levels, but it, you know, this is already looking like it's going to start crossing over. And so the Cardano price looks like it wants to come down to this 200-week moving average. And you know what? That's good. That's healthy. Get some support at your 200-week moving average and chop around here in this kind of previous support and resistance zone here that we have carved out. 200-week moving average, this zone, maybe even come up to this. Well, by then the clouds, yeah, well, okay, so that's in August, so maybe it will come up here, but I don't think it'll come up here by then. I think this thing's going to break down. And are we even going to hold it to 200-week? I mean, that's your best bet. That's your biggest hope that you can manage. Let's see, what would that mean again? That would mean roughly, yeah, like a 61.8, 78.6. Maybe you wick down below it, you get to this type of level here on a week or two, whatever. Yeah, it's totally possible. And then you don't make a full one-to-one zigzag, and that shows some strength there for sure. Having said that, one-to-one is still in play, and that's a previous, you know, support level and resistance level. So with, yeah. But at that point, then you're really down below that 200-week, and then you're just wondering what's going on with these price charts against BTC. Is BTC healthy? Is Cardano healthy? Are other things doing well against it? Well, no. In this time frame, it looks like all of these names are doing their moves where they're having some sort of consolidations after moving down, and now they're moving further down. Cardano was moving down a lot sooner than, for example, Luna or Solana or AVAX or Atom or the other ones that were showing at the beginning, right? But they're all doing similar things on their 20-week price charts. Okay, so yeah, it looks like more negative momentum incoming for Cardano. But hey, eventually you'll be somewhere where it'll turn around again. You know, you're at this point here where you've had previous supports on the RSI. Maybe it needs to do this kind of deviation again. You go make your lows, okay? and then you're out of it, and then you're rebuilding. So that's my guess. Cardano is going to come make its lows, rebuild. It'll repair the RSI back to this 30, what it likes, about what, 37, 35, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so it'll come, yeah, like 37. It'll come back to the 37 level and be above it and go higher. But that first needs to break down, and that's the sense that it's giving. Interesting, ETHBTC. All of crypto altcoin price charts right now are not in the favor. Right now, if anything, all is leading to BTC. And we'll look at BTC if that leads to USD, because we're looking at it against USD. So we're going to move over to the Komodo and friends. We are looking at the Pirate Chain, which had a strong move. Oh, wow, BTC's in the 43,000 level right now. Nice pump, taking out some shorts, I bet. Okay, yes, so, oh, this is the daily. Yeah, you can watch the other video if you're interested in the Pirate Chain. If you haven't watched it, talk a little bit more in depth on a few time frames, but here we are. We made it to the top of the Bollinger Band. Nice pump. When Pirate Chain pumps, it pumps real good. So nice. Now, who's to say that this is going to be, you know, a big move? Oops, that's not what I meant to do. You know, is it going to go back big again? Most likely, it's just going to do one of those things, right? Maybe it won't do 5 of them. Maybe it won't even do 3. Maybe it'll, you know, it'll do 1 or 2, and then it's going to go. And maybe when it goes, it won't go this big. Maybe it'll still just go this big. These, you know, it's still difficult for me to fathom the patience and the timing required. You know, this is up to 2023. This is the rest of the year. So what does it look like for the rest of the year? This is against BTC, by the way. So in my opinion, it's not going to be one of these. It's not going to be a moon pump against BTC, particularly, you know, breaking all-time highs. I don't think there might be some moon pumps, like for example, not moon pumps like this. So maybe to call it a moon pump is not fair. This is not a moon pump here, but this is definitely a good move. You know, it came to the previous resistances, a very important level. So let's see how much it can hold. I'm guessing it's going to, price is going to trade back down into this zone here. Try to find these previous supports, try and find it as support again. That'll confluence with a 20-week moving average. That will be strong. And that does say that a a Pirate Chain price chart does have the momentum to go up into here. Okay. And some markets move differently than others because of whatever reason. And in this case, it looks like Pirate Chain has some potential to move. However, having said that, it's not guaranteed, and it could go back down towards these lower levels, could go back down towards this uptrending support line. But this is a good move that shows, you know, long-term, looks like we're turning around. Momentum indicators are showing this potential turning around. And the price levels, like a nice candle, it didn't, the wick, you know, compared to this type of wicking action, there is no wick here barely. And that is a big, strong candle, not only breaking this level here, okay, which was this price action here, not only breaking that, but basically matching this and breaking it too a bit, you know, enough to say, like, I'm not stopping here. So that is phenomenal. That is phenomenal price action. Let's see it continue. I don't know if it's going to take a week or 2 or 3 to kind of revert back down towards this level here, just below the 3,000 level, maybe around this 20-week moving average, and then keep going. That would be a good bet. Another good bet is just to keep going higher for another candle or 2 into the 5,000 level. And wow, that would probably take some wicks up here, or at least to the 7, or at least to the 6. Pirate Chain price chart looking good. You know, I think the best bet in 2023 is this kind of level here of the Ichimoku cloud, but it's going to keep coming down, right? So maybe the best bet in 2023, like in terms of, again, none of this financial advice, but if you're going to hope to get anywhere in 2023, a good win would be this level here, which is about 7,500. If you can get to the 7,000 or 7,500 level, 7,500 is really is the good win. And I mean, if you can manage even up to like 8 or 9,000, 95, and over 9,000, then you're really, like, that's a huge win. But no, I think fair win is here. You you know, by this point we expect to get here. With this move here, we expect to get here, but again, maybe it's just a move up top of the Bollinger Band and then come back down for a little while. This could take us all the way into April. Okay, in fact, that would probably be that's probably most likely. It's just a slow bleed out again to April. I don't know, hopefully makes a higher low than this, right? And shows some strength there. And then we can continue. Then you can continue here. Yeah, that makes some good sense too. We'll see. Maybe you just first you got to pump up here. Then you can have your slow bleed. And then you can go higher. That would be beauty. Let's not do too much speculation there though. Pirate Chain price chart looking like the strongest price chart of the week. Of course, look at that big pump candle and also breaking out of this, you know, really this whole downtrend momentum with force and clearing both of these levels. You know, I really hope that my bearish sense is just completely destroyed by a strong support here and a move higher. That bodes well for just longer term strength in this price chart, and even a possibility of challenging these higher resistance areas. But anyway, that's for time to come. We can wait on that. We're just 1 week at a time here. Okay. 2023 begins here on most calendars. All right, let's watch what happens. So stick around. And that's it for Pirate Chain price chart on the weekly time frame. Let's take a look at the KMD price chart, currently trading below the 1200 Satoshis level. On the weekly, it looks like there was in the previous week some, just like the others, that had a wick up, but it couldn't hold it and came back down. So continued down action, lower lows. There's one potential hope here is that it's making some form of triangle to, well, maybe this won't be the end there, but something where it'll pop up and then come down and then eventually find its way out of this, but maybe it actually needs to come down further first, makes this move down, then comes back up. Well, no, that's a little bit far for the first move. I have to keep this into consideration. It's not a daily price chart. Sometimes the scale of things, you know, yeah, maybe it needs to move down towards this level. Maybe not yet there. Maybe this is, you know, some position here. Well, you're at the lower end of this Bollinger Band. So if it's not here, then it's more likely going to be down here. But at this point, I'm watching this slowing of momentum. There's these pushes up. So let's see if it can just slow momentum, maybe you wick down or whatever, 11-11 type thing. And then from there, you can only hope that this is actually like some sort of terminal move. It's just so weak on this move here, but maybe you're going to get something like this as your triangulation, you know, and in that sense, maybe it's going to, yes, maybe it's going to be looking something more like that, where you basically you finished off this whole move down. Like, I mean, because price chart has to turn around somehow, and on a big scale, I mean, what's happening here? On a bigger scale, it dropped super hard. I mean, if there's no turnaround ever for this chart and it's a perpetual down, well, it's possible, but it's less likely. It's just currently, it's very weak. It's very weak, but it's part of that crew that probably needs again, like a few years, and then things change, the nature of things change. I don't know if it needs a few years. We're hoping a few months, really, but the extendedness of all of this, the expansion of all of this bearishness continues. And not just for the KMD price chart, but as you've seen, it looks like a few months ahead is not going to be necessarily total blood in the streets necessarily, but it'll be maybe choppy. It'll be definitely not, all-time high impulses to the upside. So yeah, best thing we can hope for here in this chart is to form some bullish divergence, even in an oversold position. We would love to get this RSI all the way down here with the price lower, like start making a lower low here. Okay, RSI into the oversold, but not as far down as here. I think that's nice. That's really nice. Would that count as a bullish divergence? I hope so. Maybe that doesn't happen yet. Maybe even better, maybe the price can find some sort of rebound here and then come back down. But that would be a big rebound for KMD price, and that would just be starting sometime soon, like in March. Maybe March to June we'll have a good move. We'll see. It's been a lot of speculating and wondering when turnarounds can happen, and this just feels like more stretching, like what has to happen for this, maybe this price chart does not turn around. But again, I just does not get the sense of that. I do not get the sense of that. There's something that's telling me that at some point the crypto assets are going to be valued against BTC more favorably than they are now, and then the ones that have some network effect will be included. I mean, KMD, I just don't, it's difficult to fathom a world where KMD is not part of the infrastructure. Maybe KMD itself, no, but its whole network and of effects. So yeah, it should come at some point, but I mean, when? This just seems a little too drawn out. What is going on here? That's just a little bit hopeless in my opinion. So yeah, let's look for some signs of turning around, and either that or just like the ICX chart, it's going to be something which comes up and then goes back down, which is not fun for anybody who wants to see it do otherwise and wants to see it to instead make way up. Okay, so KMD is struggling. There is no doubt in terms of, it's already started low. It has low bounces. It's always retracing more than 100% on the retracement back down after it bounces. But at some point, things have to turn around, or at some point, they will never turn around. Now, we'll keep watching. We have Ichimoku Cloud here. We do get pumps once in a while, so we're going to see how this starts playing out. And eventually, after time, tides might turn in the favor of the upside. But until then, we'll just have to keep watching. Okay, so that's it for KMD. I don't like having these arrows here because I honestly do not know what's going to happen to this price chart. And interestingly enough, just on this longer term price chart for KMD BTC. Coming up next, we'll take a look at the BTC price chart. But yeah, there's just small potential that we could have some sort of triangulation, but otherwise that's completely wrong, and we are not having any of that, or at least it's not going where it looks like it might. So next, $43,500 Bitcoin against USD. Last but not least, of course, such an important price chart. Wow, look at this. So it's difficult to say right now because it's just, it's the first day of the week here for this candle. So can't really hold anything with this candle. It could be meeting resistance here and then falling back down into the cloud. And that's the general sense I'm getting, is because look at this previous week's cloud candle. It is such a turnaround candle. So, but it did close above the cloud. So yeah, I mean, I'm wondering, just wondering where things are going to go. And I just get the sense that they're going to be coming back down, but this cloud is a good supportive cloud. So what, does it need to go to 50 first? That starts to invalidate a bunch of some potential well, invalidate is a strong word, but yeah, it starts to go back a little too bullish. Like this was your turnaround week. So overall, the sense is down. Overall, the sense is down. But maybe choppy. This type of action may be coming, but on a more up and down triangular level. Let's find out. That's what the sense I'm getting, is that we're going to be triangulating down into this cloud. And do we go below the cloud? That's maybe just with wicks. I find it difficult to see the bodies closing below this 34 level, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. In which case, yeah, maybe it does have to go into 20s, but yeah, no. This cloud, because at that point, if you're below this cloud, then you're really extending this thing towards the end of 2023. If you just want to go to June, okay, for some bearishness and some choppiness, okay, you know, March, April, whatever, it doesn't matter, okay, and then you can go. Let's just get this right though, okay, you know, you can go and you can wick down here. You can, I mean, if it has to wick down here, it can. Look at these huge wicks, okay? But whatever, either way, okay, you're down here, but you're not, you're closing favorably is my sense of things, okay? So as you close favorably and then you make your way down, you might even just be making lower lows too and lower highs, okay? And then all of a sudden, boom, maybe then you're, you know, at that point, maybe you're up here pretty quickly, you're getting supported by the cloud, you're in the cloud, and then boom, you're gone, that kind of thing. Or, you know, at this point, it would actually have to be much faster than that. The price action would be breaking. We'd be saying roughly, if we're saying, let's say June or May, whatever, let's call it, no, we're saying, yeah, like something like that, okay. Yeah, that makes sense, but we'd have to be having these all-time highs before October of 2022. So yeah, around like the fall time of October 2022, if it is a flat pattern. If this is incorrect, and indeed this is a flat pattern, we would be wanting to break it before, you know, that time. Now that would depend when it finishes here, when the C finishes, but based on when that C finishes, we would take this time and add it forward and try and see it breaking before it matches 1-to-1. Okay, so that is the Bitcoin price chart, and that's the general sense we get. And this could all be wrong, and we could have found bottom, and this cloud could be now the new support. We could be making the new support zones here. Maybe it'll trickle down, you know, and trickle with the cloud, and then go higher, making a higher low than this previous low. That's good, and then just gone. And in which case we would probably want to see, well, this might not be a flat, then this might be a completely different thing happening. But actually I have some suspicions about a bigger scale move of what Bitcoin is doing, in which case then yes, we are looking at some sort of corrective wave between two impulses, potentially making a bigger degree zigzag, but we'll see what that looks like over time. And I hope to be here with you. So hopefully this has been helpful. And that's about it. I don't really have much else to say other than I'm wishing you a lot of love, peace, and happiness. And until next time, goodbye.